Hello and welcome back to another coffee unboxing video. We have a coffee machine unboxing video. I alluded to it last week. To give you a little bit of backstory before we get into it, I purchased a machine the other week. I unboxed that video, filmed it. The Bluetooth did not work. I had a few other concerns. Contacted Nespresso. They wanted me to try this new machine. And they asked that I give this one a shot instead of releasing the video. That I expressed some of my concerns about the noise of the machine. Like I said, the Bluetooth didn't work. I'll show you some of that video of it trying to pair and what it said towards the end. I did a comparison with this machine, the machine that's sitting right back here, which is the one that I purchased here at retail. This one came from Nespresso. I put it up against the Vertuo Plus, and then I put it up against the old original locking head Vertuo. I'll show you all of those. It's a very unscientific decibel measurement, but I measured it at 4 inches from the head of the machine on all machines at the same location. So once we get this set up, we will also record this one, see if it's any different than the one that we have behind us. So let's get into it. And the reason I contacted Nespresso was to see if they couldn't get the Bluetooth working so I could include that in the video that was going to be last week. They did everything they could. We did even a factory reset, and the machine would not release its pairing. So something's wrong. Well, here's our new one to try. Oh, never mind. It's a box within a box. All right, now we're down to retail. All right. Kind of funny. So let's get into the unboxing portion of this. Our standard books, instructions, and that. They gave a pretty neat sampler pack. I'm going to actually open that up now. It is a lot nicer than the one that it used to come with. This sampler pack, it's got a lot of good ones in it now. They have the Barista Creations, the Ligero, and the Forte down here. They have one decaf. They don't really have any funny ones. They got rid of putting in the vanilla and the hazelnut and all of that. The only one, and I still don't, let me see if this is any different. Oh, ha! This one's actually labeled Double Espresso Chiaro. So mine that came in my pack was not labeled. So I had no idea which one this one was on the chart because you couldn't read it. This one is labeled, but a nice assortment, and they got rid of the funny flavor stuff. Here is the new coffee cup holder, I guess we'll call it. That fits in just like that. Got a kind of a neat styling. It almost looks, if you flip it over, it almost looks like the lock head of the of the actual unit. So maybe intentional, maybe not. Let's get the machine out here. And that's it for the box. All cardboard, no styrofoam. So if you're trying to get rid of it, it's going to make getting rid of the contents a lot easier. The water is substantially smaller than the old Vertuo. So, or the Vertuo Plus. This is, if you can kind of see it. I don't know if they intended to do it, but it's pretty dead on. Kind of a nice match. The pod ejector versus the older one that was manual, this one really grabs the pods and removes them. Works extremely well. These, it's never missed one yet for my machine that I've used all week. And it really throws them out of the machine with some force. So it's got a vendetta against them when it ejects them. One piece here on the side, kind of a redesign. This was one of the critiques that I had when I initially unboxed it, and I'm gonna critique it again. You cannot just open this up and get the door out. You have to actually open it up, slide down, and then like lift it to get it out. And then for some reason, I really don't know why, they decided to turn it into two pieces. A drip tray lid or door, and then a catcher. The other issue is this holds about 8 pods. 9 if they happen to stack perfectly. But basically 8 pods. I don't really know why this had to be built so overly complex like it is, but I think it's kind of a waste of space, and I also don't know why we need a two-piece ordeal. And then the way that this releases, it goes in perfectly, but to get it out, I mean, you have to pull it, and then it won't come out unless you just yank on it. So I think it just needs a little bit of redesign work. Going to the back to the water unit. If this is in the back and you're not pulling it out, if it's under a counter, you're going to be forced to pull it out anyways because there's no way to get to it. If it sits at a coffee bar, kind of like ours, then I don't have to pull it out. The issue is this lid barely has a lip on it. It kind of likes to do that a lot. So as you and since you're adding water more routinely, this lid not getting lined up just perfectly falls into that. I've dropped it at least 3 times already into the water. So I'd like to see that redesigned a little bit. The reason I'm talking about redesigning is this machine right now is beta. What that means is people like myself that adopt things early, we're going to troubleshoot it for them. We're going to give them feedback, not me specifically, but the people that purchase it are going to give them feedback. They're going to see what the pain points are, the pinch points, what things people liked, what they didn't like, and then they'll redesign it, and they're relaunching it in September, October. So that'll be the first gen, I guess you should say, in September, October. This machine is still considered beta. I love the design of it. I think it's a neat looking design. It's very trim. This coffee cup holder, I love. I think it's sleek. Like I said, it matches that lid. Slides in there very nicely. It has very limited amounts where you can actually put it, but the 3 spots seem to hold like a shorty cup, like a normal short cup, and then your taller cups. The only issue is if you have a travel mug, this lip down here gets into the way a little bit. So if you're trying to stand a mug right here, this lip tends to get in the way just a little bit. With that said, let's go fire it up, give it its first run. All right, so it wants you to rinse this out before your first use. I don't run anything through my machine for water other than purified water. So I'm going to use that also for the rinse cycle here. So we'll give it a good shake. that is ready to go, and we're going to set up in the temporary location so that we can also film for the noise levels. It said at least 34 ounces. So this holds 32 up to that line. So we'll go just to the top. We'll add the water back in. Oh, and make... That is about the limit. So if you're curious about how much water it holds, about 34 ounces. For those of you that are trying to critique the background that's changing, this will not be one of those videos. All right, make sure, put the container in the coffee outlet. We got that there. Make sure the machine is locked. Press the button 3 times within two seconds. And it's going to start the cleaning procedure. All right, it finished cleaning itself. Oop. I actually never tried to do that. The head of this actually, like if you pull straight, but if this is released for whatever reason, now the head of this is in the way of the water. Design. Okay, so the way that we set up all of these, I'm showing it to you on this one. And then the next thing you're going to see is you're going to see the old original version of the manual one. You're going to see the decibel level on that one. Then you're going to see the Vertuo Plus, which is the automated or electric one that raises the lid for you and goes down. Then you're going to see the old one that I got last week, and then you're going to see the new one. So we're going to do a comparison of sound levels. The way I did it, and again, this is not insanely scientific, but I put each head roughly 4 inches, this to here, 4 inches. As close as I could get it. That's as equal as they're going to get. I'm using the same pods on each one. I used Hazelino muffin because I didn't like the coffee and they were left over, and I figured this is a great way to get rid of them. It gets rid of it with a vengeance. I think Nespresso might have been right. That machine was a lot louder. If you saw the decibels versus this one on the decibels, it was a lot louder. I think they might be right. So let's take a look at the app. My previous machine said that it was already paired. In fact, this is what it would do when you would try to pair it. It would look for it and then tell you it was already paired. So let's give this one a shot. Add a machine. We're going to pick pair Nespresso machine. I unplugged the old one just to be sure. This one's doing the same thing. Well, all right, we did a factory reset again. Hey! Woohoo! Hey, factory reset worked! Allow it to use? Sure, while I'm using the app. Your personal data is yours. We will not collect it. Keep your machine up to date. We need to update it automatically. Register my machine. Activate your machine, blah, blah, blah. I'll skip it. Machine added. View my machine. Connectivity not configured. Please sign in to configure. Okay, hang on a minute. Your machine and recipes have been successfully installed. Now we're going to connect it. It wants to connect to the Wi-Fi. So we're going to connect there. Connection successful. Okay. Operating status just says okay. Network says connected. I'm sure that's where you go to pick stuff. Water status shows enough. Descaling not needed. Water hardness level 4. So we know they did not send strips, but we know from the test from when we did the unboxing video on the Breville original machine that we do not have hardness. Why? Because we use the purified water. So let's set this so that the water level is not hard. Water level hardness 0. Finish. That should help that. Machine assistance videos. They have the Vertuo Next first use, Vertuo Next machine presentation, the descaling, machine settings, and coffee preparation. Okay, so the FAQ does take you somewhere. It looks like kind of a generic site, Vertuo Coffees, Vertuo Technology. And going to that video did freeze the app. The firmware does not work. Connectivity, the machine info we saw. Factory reset, that would be kind of interesting because the minute you would reset it, you would lose connectivity. And then you can delete this machine. There is the Vertuo Next. Let's go over and wrap this up. So what's the final word on the Vertuo Next? I don't know. For me, I'll list out some of the stuff. I can usually work through tech issues. The other machine would not reset to allow me to connect to it and get it onto Wi-Fi. The water reservoir, the lid design issue, needs some work. The tray, the compartment, not allowing you to just tip out and pull it out. That needs some design work issues. I like the overall streamline of it. I like the look of the head. The coffee cup tray is pretty cool. I think that's a neat design issue or a design feature. The firmware being able to be updated, that's kind of neat. When I talked with Nespresso, they said that it's so that they can add features for pods and things like that. You saw how it brewed. It had an extreme amount of crema. I don't know how that's going to vary. All the pods were the same. This machine does appear to be quieter than my other one. So I think the first machine I got was very early out of the plant and was very, very noisy. So I think they did actually fix some of the noise between the time I got mine and this. This one the new one that you saw came from Nespresso. The one I picked up was from Best Buy. Best Buy obviously getting the machines to a warehouse and then to the stores. I don't know. I think I would say wait on it right now. If you're in need of a new machine, I would go with the older version with the manual head if you like that design, or I would go with the Vertuo Plus. There's just too many little weird quirks. Something else I came across, which doesn't show up here on the video, and it kind of doesn't warrant repeating it. But if you just open up the lid, put a pod in, lock the lid, and hit the button, you do not get a cup of coffee. It just goes into warm up. And once it's warmed up, it just sits there. If you hit the button again, it flashes yellow at you because it thinks it's a used pod and wants you to eject it. So you have to press the button, unlock the door, put the pod in, lock the door, and press the button again. Then you get a cup of coffee. Those types of little design things, I think are things that need to be addressed. So for now, I'm going to put it into the pass category. It's a very, very slight maybe, but mostly to the pass. I don't want to mislead you guys. Even though Nespresso was involved with this, I'm still going to shoot you straight. So with that said, the Vertuo Next, a very, very soft maybe to a very hard pass. That's your machine. That's the video for tonight. I thank you once again for your time. If you're new here, this is a Nespresso-centric channel. We review Nespresso for the Vertuo line and the original line. Please hit the subscribe and make sure you hit the bell notification so you're alerted anytime I drop a new video, which is every Tuesday. If you are a subscriber to this, consider subscribing over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/IPON70, the same as the channel. And I thank the ones that are already there supporting me directly. It means the world to me. Until next week, have a great rest of your day.